Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. Here is the finished journal that I've been working on. And this is the fifth and the last video in the little series I did about putting together a junk journal. I love the way this turned out. I really do. I'm in love with this journal. I wanted to tell you just a few things about the journal, a few highlights, but I'm going to flip through the journal kind of quickly so that this doesn't turn into a 30-minute video. To learn more about the cover, the pages inside, and the trim, you can go back and look at the first, second, third, and fourth videos in this little series. Just to recap, the cover is made from old file folders with the metal tabs. The front is collaged, and the entire outside is covered with vintage dictionary pages. There's a strip of muslin here and here to reinforce the spine. The inside cover is some beautiful fabric from my mom. The pages are all distressed or vintage. All of the lace trim is vintage. I have 8 pieces of binding cord that ended up on the outside. I always tie the thick beads far enough down on the strings so that you can pull them up in case you want the journal to lay flat, and that way they're not under the spine. I don't worry as much about flat charms that are going to be on the outside of the spine. This journal is full of stamping. It's full of distressing with my distress wash that I keep out all the time. And these are some of the stains that I used. I love Tim Holtz. I love Stampin' Up! Stamp pads. We have chocolate chip, fossilized amber, sepia, and rust. These are alcohol inks, and these are just stamp pads. I'm going to just flip and let you see what's inside. I think the materials explain it pretty much. I will just stop and let you know if there's something that I really, really like or that I think is special. I did go back and hand stitch some lace to this pocket. Wasn't that hard to do. The pocket was already glued down. There's one of the little ephemera leaves that I made a few days ago, and there's some old ephemera in here. These appear to be travel notes, and there are more of these further on into the journal. If you look back at previous videos on this journal, you will remember that I started out with 3 signatures. I a lot of times just things. I don't use templates. So once this was done, I really felt like there was a little bit too much space on the front end of things. That was the perfect place to go back and add this little signature, which is basically a book of mushrooms. Beautiful vintage mushrooms. I love, love this color of blue. I love this as well, that red and yellow. I don't know what's come over me. I really don't. I just had to have some yellow in this journal, and I'm also in the mood to make some yellow ephemera packs. So stay tuned for that. Don't be afraid to sew things like artificial moss, petals, things like that onto your pages. There are quite a few nature quotes throughout this. I decided to write some quotations in here that inspire me. This is very much a nature journal. It's set up so that you can just enjoy it the way it is. I want it to be something that you can just sit down and look at over and over again, or something that you can add your own notes to. You notice I did leave a little bit of white space in here. Here's a little card, just decorative, not really a journal card that I would journal on, unless you wanted to make some notes around here. There are several of these in the journal. It's just layers of ephemera, distressed paper that was laying around on the desk. These adorable butterflies came from the Dollar Tree. They are 2 layered stickers. I did not really want the reflective, sparkly part, but this part pulls off. So you're still going to have a sticker here for later use, and then this, I just kind of folded it back into a flat shape, and they are beautiful on collage work. And this card sitting over top of the butterflies, and it's on there with an old bobby pin. Maybe she took that out of her hair when she was hiking. I love the way this turned out. I love this so much. I took 3 of the mushrooms that I love to use so much, not only for distressing and just decorative, but I took 3 layers. I fussy cut around one side, stacked them up. They're staggered a little bit at the bottom, but I just love how that looks. Makes it stand up off of the page. There's a piece of the trim, really gauzy. It has glue on the bottom and then some white acrylic paint on the top. There's some alcohol ink, and I stamped the word nature there. There's a Jane Davenport stamp. I've written the word nature there. It looks like a little necklace almost. She has a butterfly in her hair. There's more of the travel ephemera. Thank you, Gracie. Throughout you will see this vintage lace trim, very delicate. It's just tied onto the end of paper clips, and it holds some of the ephemera in place. Love this old photograph. That came from a Pinterest search. She has her hat and they're sitting out in nature. Another journal card. I love the little strips of muslin that run between the signatures. I stamped those with the fossilized amber. Tiny little leaves running through there. There are butterflies throughout that come from this tissue paper. I love this so much. I just tear out the one I want and glue it into place. And I put this postage style stamp, like a postmark, on top of that. And I love the way that turned out. This came from a package of extra buttons for a shirt. This recent napkin purchase, I bought that especially because it has the guinea feathers in the flower arrangement. Oh, I love this. This is one of my favorite elements. This again is from a Pinterest search, very old photograph. These beautiful girls holding flowers. I cut around one side. The photograph was already very damaged, you can see here, so I added a lot of distressing, put a piece of tape behind her to help sturdy her, and it is 2 layers here, the printed image on top of some really thick cardboard. Gracie. Another journaling card. I believe this illustration came from a set of books I have by and about Robert Louis Stevenson. Very old piece of ephemera. This pocket's got a tiny little tag and a guinea feather from my mom's farm. Where someone typed up some poetry in 1926. This is from 1892. Another photograph of some children. Looks like 3 brothers. Absolutely beautiful. And on this side there's more yellow. This is a piece of wallpaper, just a scrap that was on the desk. And if you open that up, it's like a little portfolio where you could save some things, maybe press a flower. Old wallpaper and one of my favorite little photos. Not sure what will happen with this. This is a petal from my own gardening. I know it still has moisture in it. This is a piece of the paper tape. I put the flower on the sticky side and then covered over it with some packaging tape. And there is the heavy piece of burlap that had been gessoed. That's glued into place. And that's it. That is the whole journal. I love so much the way this turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back as soon as I can with some packs for the shop. Bye for now.